What's going on, champs and chambits? It's FireMonkey here in the V28.01.01 update. Yes, point. This is a weird time to be in Fortnite, I know, has officially released. So in today's video, I'll be recapping all the brand new information you need to know about. There haven't really been any new cosmetics or anything like that, but there have been some interesting quality of life changes. So firstly, if we go to our actual locker, you'll notice that we have a different type of selecting border right here. Instead of just being a little check mark or anything, now we have a yellow outline on whatever outfit we actually have selected. That's a nice little thing to see, and it's a little weird at the same time, but it is one of the things to see. We don't have actual rarity backgrounds or anything at all. As you can see right here, our rare outfit looks like the same background as an epic outfit and everything else. However, if we continue going up through the list here, we will reach a category where, as you can see right here, special rarities or special series now actually have a background put back on them. Stuff like the Slurp series, as you can see right here, has the Slurp background. We have the Shadow series, we have the Icon series, we have the Lava series, Dark series, all that type of stuff actually have their backgrounds once again, which is very nice to see how they're slowly updating the locker to actually support different series and stuff so that, it's not as confusing looking through everything. Now, something I did notice is that sometimes you'll have a little bit of a glitch and you can see some more of like the series backgrounds right here with like the Frozen series, but sometimes you'll have a little bit of a glitch that actually happens where some of the backgrounds just don't follow this whole entire rounded border aesthetic and cause some weird little, like desyncing issues with how the quality actually looks. But if we select one of these outfits, you can see, oh, the series shows up, you have all your different options and everything else to select styles. They have put in a decent amount of work to actually make sure these actually work. However, it is not finalized as of yet, because if you equip it, you still can't see that background in the actual character thing right here. So it's only for the main locker menu right here and not really for you to actually focus on when it comes to, just looking at it from a glance from this menu right here. On top of that, there is still this glitch right here where whenever you go to name a preset, it says you can name it up to 150 characters. However, if you type something super long that, goes over 16, it will cut all that out and still show a 16 of 16, forcing you to not be able to type to that limit. That bug is still there. However, I assume as time goes on, we will go ahead and get more updates to that whole entire system, allowing us to actually be able to have longer preset names or something along those lines. But that isn't the only update, right? Another thing we can kind of talk about regarding leaks and stuff is if we go over to the festival stage here, it's actually not going to show for us. All right, I see how it is. We have 3 new festival tracks they'll be releasing in the item shop on Thursday. To actually explain what these tracks are, it is Beautiful Day by U2, Believer by Imagine Dragons, which means this is the second Imagine Dragons song we're actually getting in the game, and we're going to get Heartbreaker from Pat Benatar. I might have butchered the last name, but it is interesting to see how we're actually going to be getting all these different tracks enabled in the game. And if you guys have been paying attention to leaks, we have the Winterfest Wish music pack, which you're going to be able to get as a free gift in a few days. As you can see, I already claimed all my free gifts today, so I can't really show that menu off, but that will also be granting you a jam track now, so that you will be able to get a music pack and a jam track all for one day, instead of only getting, the music pack and calling it a day there. And because of the fact that we're talking about Fortnite Festival, let me go to the Instruments tab and talk about the actual TMNT instruments. As you guys know, I mentioned you could purchase these for a little bit of time if you changed your language in game, but there was an issue where the key Board would not actually let you equip it because it had no variant selected to it. And right here you can see the whole entire rounded border issue where the icon background doesn't actually follow that border. But regardless of that, now that they've actually pushed out this update, the icons are proper for all the TMNT instruments, and it does appear that you can equip all of them and use them like normal, so they'll most likely re-add it to the item shop either tonight or the day after as a way to actually hype them up and be like, hey, look, there's even more Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle stuff to actually purchase. But they have not added a bundle or anything like that, so they'll all be sold individually for 1,500 V-Bucks. But with all that said, that's pretty much all the changes when it comes to the actual lobby, so we're going to hop into an actual match, make sure we're not in ranked mode, and we are going to be talking about all the changes that came to Battle Royale, Lego Fortnite, Fortnite Festival, and all that type of stuff in their own little sections, because, there is quite a bit of quality of life changes that happened today, so I'll see you in the game in one moment. Now, for our first change here, as you can see in the actual lobby, or whenever you're looking at the map, we have the normal medallion icons. However, if you go over to one of these medallion NPCs and eliminate them, it will not drop that icon anymore. They made some simplistic flat versions of the icons, which you'll see in a moment as we actually go defeat this NPC, to make the game, stand out a little bit more. Now, it is odd to see how we have the old icons here because those new icons were specifically for the map, but I assume, maybe the little fix or whatever else they tried implementing just didn't get properly implemented, and we won't see the little flat icon versions until, mid-January when we actually get the V28.20 update. Alright, we've eliminated the NPC, and as you can see right here, the actual icon when you have it on the ground looks pretty normal. And actually, wait a minute, if we drop it on the ground, does it have the new icon on the map? It does! Okay, yeah, so if we run over here a little bit, you know, to get our little icon, our little marker out of here, you can see that after you've eliminated the boss, the icon is no longer going to be the normal coin that you see when they're still alive. So that is a little bit of an interesting change they've actually done just to increase the visibility of the actual, you know, medallion. On top of this, they also went ahead and decreased the actual visual noise you hear in the minimap for, you know, a close medallion zone. So basically, whenever someone has a medallion, there's a little bit of a zone that shows they're nearby. They have made it so when you're in that zone, you know, where there's a person, you know, a medallion owner nearby, you're not going to actually hear a sound just blaring in your ears or anything like that. It's going to be a lot quieter, so, you know, you'll be able to kind of play at nighttime without having to worry about being dun 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 in your ears. With that said, however, we do have to talk about some other changes. So for Battle Royale, we had some movement improvements. They increased the crouching and running speed. So whenever you're crouching, you see the speed, it might be a little bit faster. You know, I can't really tell personally. But then when you're sprinting, you also have a slightly faster speed as well, just to kind of use the new animation system while still making the movement feel okay to where everyone's going to be able to enjoy it, where the game feels flawless and all that type of stuff, without compromising, you know, all the efforts the devs and everyone else put in to actually making these new movement animations be a feature in the game. So, you know, it's nice to see that they're not reverting the movements, but they are making improvements to how it actually feels to move around the island. They also worked on fixing nighttime visibility by brightening dark areas on the map during the night, so instead of it being a horror scene at nighttime, you know, trying to look around and worry that you're going to get jump scared, you have less of a thing to worry about because it is going to be a little bit brighter all over the place, so you are able to actually be able to visually see in more areas. In terms of other balancing changes or little just changes here and there that don't really mean too much, they updated the Frenzy Auto Shotgun and Thunderburst SMG icons. They did various adjustments to items, weapons, and medallions. You know, those were in the recent hotfix update I already talked about. They actually improved visibility of the Storm's Edge, and, you know, it was basically like a more quality of life, just, hey, we're improving visibility, we're improving how the game feels and looks, so that you have less to actually complain about. And I think for Battle Royale, pretty nice update. Now, some other things to really kind of mention here is you may have noticed in my inventory I actually have the Icy Grappler equipped. They have brought back the Icy Grappler. They didn't mention this in the hotfix or anything else, they just decided to bring it back. It was supposed to be here originally when the Winterfest event started anyways, but it is now enabled in the game once again. You can go ahead, run around with it and everything else. It has infinite uses, which I think is really cool, and on top of that, you are now able to hire NPCs once again in Battle Royale. They had enabled and disabled that ability multiple times. It was like a cat and mouse game. It was like one day it was enabled, the next day it wasn't, but now they've officially decided to keep it enabled, which I think is a pretty nice addition because, you know, I like hiring NPCs. They can sometimes be really helpful. Other times, you know, maybe they're a little bit useless. You know, it really depends on the NPC you hire and if it wants to work in your favor or not that specific game. But yeah, that's all you got for Battle Royale. Now it's time to talk about the other game modes, which have a smaller amount of changes. For LEGO Fortnite, as you guys may have heard, there's been a lot of balancing changes here and there. On top of that, something that they actually didn't mention in the original hotfix patch notes was that they went ahead and changed the stack size. Items that now stack up, you know, or items that originally stacked up to like 30 now stack up to around 50, and you're able to carry more actual bolts for your crossbow whenever you're playing the game. On top of this, we've had durability increase by like 60% in the mode, so they've been making sure that the mode feels really nice for players and allows you to kind of have a chill experience without worrying too much about, my tool breaks every 3 blocks I hit, because now you'll be able to break a lot more. In terms of stuff that had already released, you know, in previous hotfix updates and everything else, they made it so that, you know, the damage for Brute's poison area and Frost Scorpion's explosions are now lower. They made it so, you know, the difficulty of actual critters, so like, you know, little spiders and stuff, is now a lot easier to actually fight them. And then, you know, they had the other little tweaks and changes here and there. But stuff that actually got added with the hotfix update, or I guess the downtime update, was that, you know, food will now be more filling, so you'll actually get more like hunger filled up or whatever else whenever you eat stuff. Whenever you're eliminated in a cave, you'll no longer have a bug where you actually lose items due to the transition between the above ground and below ground. So, you know, just a lot of quality of life changes to make sure, you know, there are less bugs, that you're able to actually carry more stuff around. You don't have to worry about your tools breaking every 3 seconds, and that you'll be able to stay alive just a slight bit longer. And overall, you know, LEGO Fortnite, I think, is in a very stable position, at least as of right now. For Rocket Racing, they addressed long queue times. Now, what actually happened with this originally was whenever you would queue into Rocket Racing, it would pre-select a map and then try matchmaking you with other people who randomly got that map selected. So I assume that, you know, if you're a high-ranked racer, you'll actually be able to find find a map a lot sooner, because they're just going to put you in a generic pool, and then once it puts you in there and once it finds other people, then it selects the map. That is just my theory, but I could be a little bit wrong on it. They also made it so that there is reduced punishment for the car-on-car collisions, so now you won't get wrecked at the start of a match and end up spinning around at the very beginning. So hopefully that makes it a lot less ragey to play, because let me tell you, sometimes I'll be in first place and then I just get bumped a slight bit, and then all of a sudden, you know, I'm in last place. It's over for me. They also fixed the issue with the Jackie Quest outfit, where you're now able to get it for gold 1 instead of gold 2. And then for Fortnite Festival, we had a few changes here and there. We had the missing song library issue fixed, so now whenever you go in Fortnite Festival, you will see all of your songs properly, instead of it just kind of like showing some here and there and some just completely gone. They fixed it so fall damage is now disabled. You can no longer die in Fortnite Festival unless you actually leave the match. So yeah, you know, it's nice to see that at least you can't die in the mode. I don't really know what to say about it. I didn't even know there was an area where you could take fall damage, but hey, little bug fixes here and there, completely fine with. The option to restart song has been temporarily disabled for solo players, because if you were playing solo, you had an option to go ahead and restart your song. However, there was a lot of little waits that would happen, a lot of issues that actually occurred when you did this, such as making it so you couldn't even play the song, kicking you back to the lobby and all that type of stuff. So it is interesting to see how it's been disabled until they can properly fix it up and make it a lot more usable without all these little technical issues here and there. And then they fixed an issue where there was incorrect posting to leaderboards. Basically what happened with this was, if you were a trio in a band and then one of your teammates left towards the end or whatever, or got kicked, crashed, whatever else, it would post the trio band score in the duos category. Luckily they've been able to fix this. I do think that the leaderboard numbers have also been fixed as well for the whole entire band categories, but it is nice to see that this downtime update was able to quickly make sure that the leaderboards have a lot of integrity towards them and can't be modded or improperly changed or anything like that. And then as a final note that I'll go into more detail with in a future video, ranked cups have been re-added to the API and will take place between January 12th through 14th, February 2nd through 4th, and March 1st through 3rd, and they will be both zero build and building enabled. If you gain 75 points, you'll actually be able to earn a ranked umbrella themed around this season. It's the same as the victory umbrella for the season, just, you know, with the ranked flare on it, and it is nice to see that this is going to be available for you. Now, you can play as a solo fill player, and you'll be match made with other solo fill players, or you'll be able to play with a full party, assuming everyone in your party is around the same rank. One actual little extra thing to mention here about this though is that each of those dates are going to go from solos, duos to squads. So for example, the first 3 sets of dates, we have solos on January 12th, then we have duos on January 13th, and then squads on January 14th. So make sure to plan which day you actually want to play on strategically around that area to make sure that you'll be able to actually play, and you don't have to worry about getting all of your friends together to get an umbrella or whatever else. Other than the umbrella, there isn't really any other reward except for, you know, bragging rights here and there, so you can go for a high score if you want, or you can just go for the 75 points to get your free cosmetic, and then you can call it a day there. But yeah, that is all the little patches that happened with today's update. That is going to be the final update that is downtime until V28.20 mid-January, around like the 23rd, 24th, so enjoy it, right? Now, something else I should probably mention is that we will be getting a hotfix update in around 2 days that will re-enable augments in the game. As you can see right here, the augment menu is currently blanked out, but we do have weekly quests that actually relate to augments. Actually, it looks like they don't actually have it enabled here, but they have it planned out, right? They plan to actually re-enable augments through a hotfix very, very soon, so just stay tuned for all of that stuff, because it's going to be very interesting to see all the different combinations and stuff people are going to be able to pull off with different augments. I mean, we have some really cool ones this season. It's honestly, in my personal opinion, some really interesting augments for the first time in a while that aren't just a reskinned version of old augments, so stay tuned for that. And of course, until next time, I'll catch you champs and champettes a little bit later. Like the video if you liked it, dislike it if you didn't like it, and peace out.